this is a place to come and stop, I think. I think it's like the place to stop before you go.
Tonight, the migrant crisis is stretching far beyond the southern border, from New York to Chicago to Philadelphia, and even Denver, where Colorado's governor is asking for the Department of Homeland Security to help inland states.
No estamos comiendo bien aquí, porque acá no nos dan comida, o sea, esto no es un refugio.
As thousands of migrants are bused from the southern border to cities around the country, the mayor of New York is sparring with the suburbs. The governor also declaring a state of emergency in the state, calling the situation a large-scale humanitarian crisis. She added the city of New York alone is providing temporary housing for almost 37,000 migrants from the southern border, a number that has spiked by more than 12,000 since January and by 1,500 in just the last week. Officials in two nearby counties say Mayor Eric Adams is planning to bus hundreds of single men to stay at local hotels.
This is a renegade operation on the part of the mayor, and I cannot even begin to believe what's going on at this point.
Those two counties also declaring states of emergency, attempting to block the hotels from accepting the migrants.
This seems like the Wild West, and it's very frustrating.
Mayor Adams saying the program is part of the city's compassionate response, and adding it will provide migrants with temporary housing, access to services, and connections to local communities as they build a stable life. He previously blamed the Biden administration for the influx.
The national government has turned its back on New York City.
2 hours away in Philadelphia, community organizers are preparing for the next wave.
There are human beings inside of those buses. There's no welcome structure at the border, and there's no coordination with local cities to be able to treat people in a human way. But we are ready on our own.
Philadelphia's mayor saying a bus with about 31 Venezuelans seeking asylum arrived this morning around 6 a.m., marking 20 buses total since November of last year. And chaotic scenes in Denver, migrants sleeping in a parking garage but having to clear out for it to be used for basketball game parking. A local college sheltering some inside a church.
There's nowhere else for these refugees to go.
Denver's mayor reactivating its emergency operations center to deal with the influx, while Chicago's mayor issues an emergency declaration saying the city is at a breaking point, with more than 8,000 people bussed in from other states since last year.
This crisis is not only exhausting our city's resources, but it's flat out dangerous for the individuals and families who have been wrapped up in this political stunt.
Recent plans to shelter migrants at a former high school sparking backlash.
I'm outraged, and I don't understand why our community was chosen.
NBC Chicago is now reporting all 7 temporary shelters in the city are full. Hundreds of migrants now waiting in the lobbies of police stations because they have nowhere else to go. We just don't want to be a burden, this man says, not to the government, not to anyone. We want to work hard to be productive members of society.
And Gabe Gutierrez joins us tonight from New York. Gabe, you know your report is so important because so many cities across America say they are stretched to the limit when it comes to migrants and the shelters where they're trying to house them. On top of the uncertainty these migrants are facing, how are the conditions where they're staying in some cases?
Well, Tom, it'll vary, of course, from place to place. But as one example, that man you just heard from says that he's been at the police station in Chicago for 15 days now. And he says there's no shower for them to use, and the conditions there are unsanitary, he says. He also says he spent the first 13 days sleeping on the floor, and for the last 2 days, he's been able to sleep on a mattress that was donated, Tom.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.